Welcome to the Scandinavian Mind podcast, where every week we talk about how technology is transforming the creative industries. Today on the program, our phygital the way forward for NFTs. Remember NFTs? Last year's most hyped technological innovation has kind of wavered from the headlines during the crypto crash the past 6 months. But recently it seems that the lifestyle industry is not losing its grip on this technology. Today, we will list 5 new NFT projects within fashion that merges digital ownership with physical experiences, from luxury houses to sneaker collabs and gaming experiences. I'm Konrad Olsson, editor-in-chief and founder of Scandinavian Mind, and I'm here with my dear colleagues Roland, Philippe, Kretzschmar, editor-at-large, and our junior editor, Erik, Sedin. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, so today we're going to try a new type of format for the podcast. We're going to do kind of like a listicle or listisode, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if that flies. But anyway, so we're going to list 5 new projects. We'll try to thematically group them under this headline, our phygital the way forward for NFTs. All right, first out, Satisfy and Norda. Erik, you've been reading up on this. Take it away.
So yeah, our contributor Oliver Dahle, the people that listen to this podcast have heard speak about metaverse experience before. He's kind of he knows his way around the metaverse. By this, he knows it like the back of his hand, right? He told us this last week about Satisfy Running. That is a running club and a running shoe brand, a running clothes brand.
Yeah, clothes brand. It's a Parisian.
Oh, it's from Paris, exactly.
Yes.
And it's this kind of cool running brand. It's very unpretentious, and they have, they sell tie-dye T-shirts made for running and bandanas, whatever you need those for running for. But you look cool. It's a cool,
but very expensive brand though. I mean, a T-shirt is like $200. So
yeah, I know, and a bandana was like $90. So you get the hang of it. So anyways, it's a cool running brand. They partnered up with Norda, also a cool running brand. They make the shoes, right? They make trail run. And they released, it's called, I'm going to read out the name here. It's called the Satisfy Norda 001 Silver. I don't know, it doesn't really sound like a shoe, but it's up for interpretation what you think it sounds like. But anyways, so they partnered up to make what I think is actually a pretty good looking shoe. It's a running trail shoe then. But the thing is, the first 50 people that bought these shoes, it cost $350. The first 50 people that bought it also received a dynamic digital twin, an NFT of the shoe, to go along with the real shoe. If you go on OpenSea and you search for this name, Satisfy Norda 001 Silver, you can see the shoe as NFTs, 50 of them. When you look at them on OpenSea, it only looks like big ice blocks. You can't see anything. You can kind of tell if you look at the NFTs. There's kind of like a sole, so you can tell there's a shoe inside the ice blocks, and it says everything it says on the OpenSea ad or whatever. It says these shoes are not meant to be stuck in ice or something along those lines. So as you download the Strava app, I don't know if you guys know, but I didn't know about this, but it's a running and cycling tracking app.
Yeah, kind of like a Fitbit type app, right? For runners.
So with this app, the Strava app, as you connect your shoe to it and as you go running with the shoe, the NFT will then change. The NFT on OpenSea that you received will change, and the block of ice will start to melt. So it's a dynamic NFT. It will change as you go running with your shoe. I think there's someone who knows a little bit more about this. I don't know, Roland, you told us that you had the shoe. Is it fully unfrozen or is it stuck in ice?
So I'm actually going to go back in time. This is time traveling. Let's close our eyes and imagine summer 2022. That's actually when Satisfy and Norda released the first edition. So the ice edition that you're mentioning now is the second edition, the silver one. But early this summer, they launched the first edition, the first collab, which is in a kind of greenish color. And the shoe, the Norda shoe, the Norda, the company, is very interesting. They only have one model. An extremely hyped Canadian company. It's I would say the most hyped trail running company for 10 years. But yeah, anyway, the first edition that they did was basically the same mechanism. The first 50 buyers got an NFT. I was one of the first 50. I got the NFT. But then the difference is in the first edition that when you connect it to Strava, the more you run in this first 30-day period, the shoe gets muddy. But I'm actually gonna say something because this is actually the NFT that I own.
It's not so muddy, or is it the silver
Have
one?
you, you haven't used it?
Because I actually tried several times to connect it to Strava and it didn't work.
Oh,
So just interesting. I mean, I love the concept. I love Satisfy. I have a lot of stuff from them. I love Norda. I have 3 pairs from them actually, and I love this concept because it's engaging, right? But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't manage to get it connected to Strava. So my
Right.
NFT is super clean. No mud on my NFT.
but that's
This is super interesting because one of the reasons we wanted to do this list is, obviously the question is this kind of phygital experience the way forward? Do we need this connection between a digital experience and something in the physical world? So obviously, what's the result here? It doesn't really work. There's a concept, but it's not actually functioning.
No, but I think that's unfair. So if the guys from Satisfy and Norda will listen to this, guys, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. Something, it's probably my fault. I do love this concept, and I think it is tied to one single element, and that is community. So Satisfy has an extremely strong community, extremely brand loyal. The same with Norda, actually. So that's why it works. That's why I paid $350 to be one of the first 50 purchasers. Because I love to be part of the community, and I think it's a token of my love for the brands, basically.
Exactly. And I think that's what's interesting. Now, like you said, it didn't work so well, not for you at least, but that's what it's all about when we're talking about these digital experiences. You need a token, you need some way to support the brand, you need somewhere to, maybe boost your digital identity, your OpenSea identity. So how can you do that? Yeah, and that's really good for brands to use these digital experiences. It didn't work this time, perhaps for you, but I love it. I think this is a good example
But
of how it should be
what
done.
actually is the best part of this? It's the mechanism of connecting the NFT to Strava, which didn't work for me, but apparently it works for everyone else, because that in itself is super interesting, that you actually can then influence the final minting of the NFT, like the final look of the NFT. And you do that by triggering a behavior, which in this case is running, which is actually also great for your health, right? So I think that in itself is super interesting. And I think we're going to see a lot of those cases now where you actually encourage people to do something, take action. I think in nightlife, in festivals, in fashion, we're going to see a lot of these examples.
All right, guys, we got to move on. We got a long list or a short list, but during a short time to get through this. So let's get on to the next example. We're going to stay in France. We're going to look at Chanel, who has opened something they call Atelier de Beauté. Roland, our man on the ground in Paris. What is this?
Well, Chanel, I mean, they have, of course, as well, a very loyal customer base, right? So they are constantly experimenting with new retail formats. So this is a retail format, basically. So Atelier Beauté Chanel, it is this kind of permanent retail space that encourages people to play rather than shop. So, when you enter this space, you basically are encouraged to connect and to use a lot of the different products that are on offer, but also actually to interact digitally with the products and also online. And it's kind of, I mean, I have not experienced this, so it's like I can only read what's written about it, right? But the way I understand it, it's that they have created a retail space which is testing out different immersive technologies to kind of create a link with the online space and the physical retail space. And also, I think the key element here is that it's extremely personalized. It's fun. It's not shopping. It's a playful retail experience, like more like a showroom. And I think what is interesting about that has nothing to do with NFTs actually, but if you look at phygital retail in itself, that is going to be huge. We have seen it already for many years. You enter a store, you have like screens and stuff. Or you can look at Amazon Go. It's kind of a phygital retail space, right? Where you basically go in and you don't need to pay at a cashier. You basically go in and go out seamlessly, and everything is kind of monitoring your purchasing behavior in the store. But I think especially in the luxury industry, customers are demanding for something else, right? That is much more than just shopping. They want to be entertained. And I think Chanel is a great example again. They actually opened up in China, I think this year, a store that is only available for their top VIP customers.
Right.
Like the top 1%.
Yeah.
So that in itself is also interesting, to create these kind of the different level of stores, different access. It's almost like gamification. Like the more you spend, the higher level you reach in the Chanel kind of universe, right? But I think to get back to this Atelier Beauté Chanel, I think what is interesting there, it is the level of interactivity that you get with the brand. You get to meet master artists. You get a different level of service. It is connected to the digital ecosystem. You have events, etc. So, and yeah, I think it's just interesting to observe not only what Chanel does, but also what all the luxury brands are doing in this space.
You know what you just said there is we could actually rename this list to something like, what are the luxury brands doing with NFTs? And I don't think this is a coincidence. We've talked about this before, that the brands that has the highest kind of brand equity, the highest value connected to their actual brand, their actual logo, their actual brand universe, are the ones that are going to be most successful in a digital space, because they can transfer that brand value into something digital. So would you agree, Roland, that the way forward for digital spaces is sort of in the hands of these luxury brands?
Yes, I would say at least in the next couple of years. Let's see then, when it gets more mass market. But I mean, we talked about, this just, before kind of recording this session today, this morning, that, the luxury brands have so much money.
Yeah.
So, especially Chanel. I mean, it's like the Apple of the luxury industry. I mean, they have so much money to spend. So, that's it's obviously easier for them to get a head start. But then I think, in addition, the key element there with luxury is identity. And this is the whole point, as we discussed like almost every week, the whole idea of the metaverse, of collectibles, etc. It's an extension of your identity. And that's where the luxury brands are brilliant.
On that note, let's move on to our third example, and that is a collaboration between Rimowa, the luxury luggage brand, which is now owned by LVMH since the last couple of years, I think. They are collaborating with Nike, or specifically the Nike-owned digital fashion brand Artifact. So Nike bought Artifact, a fairly new digital sneaker brand at that point, based out of Paris again. I think it was last year, or it was probably finalized last year, that deal. And now they're collaborating on a set of suitcases that are both physical. You can get the actual suitcase, but you have also access to 2,222 worker boot NFTs that will be released as a part of the collaboration. So this is kind of a new virtual universe by these two brands, and it's sort of, the theme is kind of a space station workshop. That's where the name worker bots are from. Guys, have you seen this collaboration?
No, I haven't. Sounds super interesting.
I think it looks.
Yeah,
I think
Erik,
it looks cool. I think I can kind of see the people, the kind of person that would that would wear it, to have these bags and have the NFTs. I can kind of see like you might be a like 35-year-old complex or high snobiety writer, and you're on the airport and you might flex with your new artifact Renova bag. It looks exactly like that kind of bag, and it's cool. Yeah, I can't afford a Rimowa bag, but it looks cool. I think they need to do some more stuff like this, tapping into street culture. We've been saying this forever on this podcast.
Yeah, interesting. It's also something, somewhere kind of a cross between kind of streetwear culture and gaming. There are these kind of small robots that you get access to in the digital space. It looks really cool. I mean, you can really see an extension of this would be like small films or something. I mean, these small robots maybe perhaps look like something out of a Pixar movie or something. But again, I think the strength here is the Rimowa brand. Rimowa has a strong community internationally. If you buy a Rimowa bag, you get access to all kinds of sort of services in terms of how you can upgrade your bags or fix them. You can, I think, if you have a Rimowa bag, you can just basically walk into any shop around the world, and they will give you a new wheel or something. So again, this strong sense of community is heightened through this digital world or digital collaboration.
But you know, Konrad, anecdotally, yesterday evening, I had dinner with the ex-chief creative officer of Facebook, really super smart guy.
Well, of course you did.
And yes, of course I did. No, but you know what? We talked about Web3 specifically a lot. And, I think he summarized it really well. Web3 or metaverse is not about technology, it's about subculture. That's why brands should be in this space, or not all brands, of course, but some brands, especially luxury, especially in streetwear, maybe in spirits, maybe in other industries, they have a right to play because they have a role to play in different subcultures. And those subcultures are driving the evolution of the metaverse at the moment.
Speaking of subcultures, let's move on to our fourth example, which is Burberry and Minecraft. Erik, you've been reading up on this.
So yeah, if it's a subculture or not, I actually would say that Minecraft is quite,
That's a boomer comment from me. I'm sorry. It's a culture.
It's just a culture. It's an institution, basically. Even.
Sorry about that.
Anyways, I have the website in front of me now called activeplayer.io that kind of in real time lets you know how many players are on Minecraft at this very moment. So right now there are 952,900 players right now, and per month they have around 171 million active players. So
cool.
It's crazy, and we I've written about it on the website a lot. We've talked about it on this podcast a lot. Minecraft is the go-to playground if you want to enter the metaverse. If you want to have some digital clothes or digital stuff, go to Minecraft. So many people play it, right? And yeah, so this time it's Burberry's time to enter Minecraft and its metaverse. It's the first time that Burberry has made its own, a full branded gaming platform and experience. So they have their own little land called Freedom to Go Beyond in Minecraft that actually is released on Saturday. Tomorrow.
Cool.
What I like about this, and this episode is about phygital, and I've said it before, I think it's really important that you can allow yourself to buy a digital asset. If it's an NFT or if it's a skin somewhere, you should also be able to buy a physical one to match. And that's what Burberry has done here. They have released several outfits for your Minecraft character, and you can buy the exact carbon copy version for yourself, which I think is great. I love that thing. You can look exactly like your digital self. Really
Konrad,
cool stuff.
can you sponsor Erik? Can you swish him like 10K so he can go and purchase something tomorrow?
We have to, we book it on as research costs.
Yeah, actually, I will try to enter the Burberry land this weekend to check it out. Yeah. Let's see if I would show up to the office on Monday with a new Burberry hoodie too. Would be cool.
I love that example. I think it's great testimony to, again, I'm repeating myself. This, the strength and the power of identity and how it interconnects between the physical and the digital space so much now, right? Yeah, but Erik, can I just out of curiosity? How much or not do you care about your digital identity? Do you spend a lot of time on fine tuning your avatars?
I do. The ones I'm I don't play Minecraft. I have to be honest. I don't have the central land, so I don't have that kind of avatar. But I do play a lot of Halo, the first-person shooter game, and I spent a lot of time fixing my guy on there. He has to look spot on, like everything from the gloves to the knee pads to like the accessories. And for example, OPI, the very American nail polish brand, they released a nail polish the other year. If you bought that one and you scanned the code on the bottom of it, your Halo character could look as the same color as a nail polish, like a glittery silver or gold or
Cool.
purple one. So that's an example that I didn't buy one, unfortunately. I was too late, but so my Halo character is not glittery gold, unfortunately. I do spend a lot of time and care into it. And going back to the Burberry example, I just want to add, I think it's quite boring. We've seen Balenciaga do it. We've seen Nike do it with Fortnite. I think it's quite boring that these brands only do like tees and hoodies. You know, it's just a hoodie with a Minecraft logo. It says Burberry in like a Minecraft font. I think they should I think I should be able to rock like I don't know, like a cool suit in Minecraft or in Fortnite, and also buy a cool suit. It's always these like kind of childish hoodies or tees with like a print on. I think if you're a luxury brand, why are you doing a T-shirt? You know, I think it's quite boring. Someone needs to step it up a bit here. Come on, guys.
Digital fashion brands take note. The new Gen Z. Are you Gen Z, Erik? We did we establish that?
I'm just in the borderline. It's nice. It says if you Google it, Gen Z stops
You're
at
Gen Z.
95.
Gen Z is requesting tailored fashion in the metaverse. Let's do a special episode on that, guys. I'm going to mention one last example, and then we'll wrap this up and kind of answer this question that we said on the top of the program. But speaking of these luxury brands, Gucci is now just recently, the other day, actually a week ago, announced a new collaboration with Palace, the skateboard brand. Gucci has previously talked about doing sort of digital twins. They have their own sort of digital land called the Vault, I think it's called. And now they're doing 3 immersive pop-up takeovers of Palace's Los Angeles, New York, and London stores, which they're also doing digital versions of in their own metaverse.
Very cool.
Actually, Gucci Vault is something more than that. It's actually the Gucci's kind of research R&D department, you can say. So everything that is kind of new, uncharted territory for Gucci when they're testing out like NFTs or metaverse stuff or new collections, collabs, that goes under Gucci Vault as a concept. And I'm sorry for plugging my work so much, but we just recruited the managing director of Gucci Vault to Pano Ricard. So exciting times for us.
Super exciting. But I think there's also speculation that this might be the first step towards Gucci's, activation in Sandbox. We've talked about various digital, the new sort of metaverses, Sandbox and Decentraland. There was actually an article out the other week talking about how few people that are actually on these spaces and are present in them. And it's something like 300 person or something. Nothing compared to, Minecraft or Fortnite. But just to wrap this up, because we have limited time this week on the podcast, I think, we could do a follow-up on this because there are things happening within restaurants and other industries as well. But just want to get your guys' take on, because we had this for the first sort of hype period of NFTs, sort of in the spring of 2021, everyone was talking about it. We had the Bored Apes and all those first ones that were purely digital assets. I think what we're seeing here is kind of maturization, if that's a word, of the NFT space, where we are seeing, legacy brands and actual applications in the physical world. And I do think there is a future for a completely digital NFT, application, but we might not be there yet. So is this the bridge? Is it that we need this sort of phygital versions to bridge us into the metaverse? What do you think?
Yeah, I've said this since forever. People that listen, I think that's exactly the way to go. And I think, like you said, maybe going to like Sandbox and the Decentraland where no people are, go to Minecraft, go to like Fortnite where people actually hang out, where people have identities and build culture for your brand, man.
Roland?
I would challenge that last point. Go to Decentraland and Sandbox as well, because the thing is, there's a huge difference. Fortnite is a Web 2 platform, Decentraland is a Web 3 platform. There's a huge difference. We can talk about that separately in another episode, but one does not exclude the other. The second thing is, I totally agree. I think like a year ago, we had this topic on the show, And I predicted, and it's not like I'm a guru of the future, but I said, the future for NFTs is utility, right? And I think this is what we're seeing in practice now. Like, that it's actually not as much as this kind of phygital thing. It's the utility part, like the purpose, like why do you purchase it? It's not only to have, as you say, Erik, this kind of pixel t-shirt in the digital space. It's actually something else, right? It gives you purpose. It creates engagement. It gives you something with value, right? Which is not only value in a specific platform online, but gives you real life value as well.
Wonderful. This has been a great episode. First try of the listisode. I think we need to do another listisode of utility NFTs because we only managed to go through the fashion ones. There are several others happening in other industries, so we'll get back to that. All right, let's take a look at the week ahead and also look at some stories that we've published on ScandinavianMind.com the past week. Erik, you mentioned you were out traveling the other week. You can say what it was. Can you reveal now what the big story is?
Yeah, the big life-changing story is that Apple flew me out to check out their Daisy robot, a disassembly robot that takes apart an iPhone in 18 seconds. It was pretty cool to see. You can read all about it, why it matters, why it's important, online now.
Right, maybe not that big of a story, but at least a follow-up to something that we've been talking about. Also, we have been doing a kind of a rundown of how the Scandinavian women's wear brands performed during the Fashion Week season. We've highlighted 7 of them. From Acne Studios to Hans Köpenhamn, Cecile Bansen, and Elio Tamil and others. So have a look at that.
Also, I can add, a lot of you guys, if you're listening to this, I love that you're calling us out on TikTok in the comment section. It's kind of spiraled out of control. We get a lot of views, we get a lot of engagement, so people call us out. And if you listen to this, and if you don't agree with what we're saying, go on our TikTok, Scandinavian Mind, and comment and tell us when we're saying something wrong and when we're doing something right. It's great.
Yeah. It's been really interesting to see the difference in tonality and how people engage with this platform versus Instagram. Instagram is still very polite, I feel. Very polite and adult, and people don't shout back. Whereas in TikTok, it's much more of a...
Exactly. Instagram is more praising emojis. Like, yeah, this is great. And TikTok is more like, I can't believe you just said that. You should be ashamed.
I can't believe you just said that. Maybe that sums up this podcast perfectly. This has been the Scandinavian Mind podcast. Don't forget to sign up to our newsletter. Visit scandinavianmind.com/newsletter. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us. See you again next week.
See you.